anybody should do in the voting process. It's A or B, you know, especially when it comes down to candidates running like it's some big popular rally. I mean, really, that's a way and a thing of the past, and a lot of us can't look at the past as being much better days, all right? So let's look ahead to look at better days, and let's look at more options and truly have something that represents the people. A strong third party should actually, you know, deal with the issues of education and health care, opportunities when it comes down to people of color, opportunities in business and participation in government, opportunities in sharing the wealth of the land. A lot of people are saying a vote for Nader is a non-vote for Gore, which is a vote for George Mingle Bush. But I would also encourage people to say that another party has to be built.
Good afternoon. I'm Reverend Graylin Hagler. I am pastor of Plymouth Congregational United Church of Christ here in Washington, D.C., and I am development director of the Neighborhood Assistance Corporation, which is a neighborhood stabilization organization with 22 offices across the country. And everybody keeps coming to me and saying, what do you think about the elections? And I have to respond, what elections? My issues are not being addressed. The issues of working people in America is not being addressed. Nobody is addressing the issues of where I live, where my community lives, except for Ralph Nader, except for Ralph Nader. What elections? The only elections I see are being run by big business and pollsters and people who are trying to tell us what to think and what to believe and what are the issues of the day, and it just doesn't ring true. I see a campaign being run by Chevron and Texaco and the drug companies and Terry Mary at the banks in New England at Fleet Bank and all the other bankers trying to tell us what to believe while they steal homes away from the elderly. What elections are you talking about? You're talking about greed. You're talking about greed. And you're talking about folks who are just stealing this country away from the people who really need to be heard. Ralph Nader, the Duke. Ralph Nader, the Duke. Ralph Nader.
Thank you. Thank you. I am pleased to join you and millions of other Americans, people of conscience, all in enthusiastically supporting the candidacy of Ralph Nader and Winona LaDuke for President and Vice President. I first met Ralph Nader in 1965 on the occasion of the publication of Unsafe at Any Speed. Here was a young Harvard lawyer fresh from law school, and because he had published or was about to publish a book critical of a General Motors product, General Motors sent women after him. This is a true story. General Motors law firm hired a gumshoe outfit from New York, and they had women follow Ralph into supermarkets and into drugstores. One curvaceous young woman walked up to him at the produce counter and said, "Would you mind coming back to my apartment to help me rearrange my furniture?" This is a true story. General Motors did this, and down from the mountain and the air-conditioned office comes the chairman of the board and chief executive officer of the largest industrial corporation on earth, James Roach. And he went before the United States Senate, and in the full glare of television Klieg lights, he apologized to Ralph Nader, and the modern consumer movement was born. I am pleased to join you today because, like you, I join Ralph in high indignation at the realization that corporate America has taken over our presidential campaign season, indeed, our entire elective process, and we're going to put an end to it right now. We gave each of the major parties, each $68 million of our money this year so that they could have a campaign free of all the dialing for dollars, free of the begging, free of the soft money from corporations. Let them debate the issues, we said. We'll give you the money, and we did. And they have both broken campaign finance law by raising another $400 million. The parties are doing this. $400 million. Last Tuesday, you could look it up, as Casey would say. You could look it up. Last Tuesday, this Tuesday, the Republicans raised $2.2 million and the Democrats $1.1 million on Tuesday. There are people out there writing $200,000 checks for both parties. And this is why the major parties are focused on the people in the boardrooms, the CEOs, and they've turned their back on the American people. They don't need us. They get their money from someone else. We're going to stop it. This will be the last year that that will happen because of the Nader-LaDuke ticket. We, very briefly, Americans have looked up to discover that the campaign debates, the signature event of the campaign season, have been bought and paid for and sold to corporate America. And when they got the debates, they took them away from the League of Women Voters, and they got the tent, and they got the stage, and they and their operatives locked arms, circled the stage, and they don't want anybody else in there. Nobody else. Imagine, these corporate donors are able to shower 2 horses with millions of dollars. They're like the house, they're like the casino. They can't lose. They have covered both horses, showering them with campaign cash. The last thing Anheuser-Busch or AT&T or any corporation in America wants is Ralph Nader on that stage. This is not the way it's supposed to work. Corporations don't make this decision. The people do. We decide who gets on the campaign debate stage. Here are some of the issues that will not be discussed. The result is a presidential campaign agenda that's very thin beer. They're not touching third-rail issues. We have 2 million people in jail. The drug war isn't working. We are knocking doors down in a rootin', tootin', shootin' Wild West policy that doesn't work. Drug addiction, Ralph Nader believes, is a health problem, not a criminal problem. The war on drugs isn't fair to cops. It's not fair to the police. You don't go to jail for drinking beer. You shouldn't go to jail because a cop found a roach in the ashtray of your car. Ralph Nader wants to talk about this. Ralph Nader wants to talk about the stripping of the Bill of Rights protection, the Fourth Amendment protection of privacy. You don't ever know when that door is going to come down. Police, freeze. We're killing innocent people. The billions we're spending on the drug war don't go to rehab. They go to buy helicopters and things that go boom and undermine Colombia and other countries. Stop it, stop it, stop it. Ralph Nader thinks it's wrong. We have states executing retarded teenagers. We have the Republican governor of Illinois, Republican, who said, wait a minute, hold it, call a moratorium. These 4 candidates won't go near this issue. They're afraid you'll think they're soft on crime. It's a third rail, and that's why we got such a thin, superficial, meaningless debate. I'll say this, you'll say that. fuzzy math if you have 3 kids and you make 50,000 and you're 65 years old and your wife. Oh, come on. Let's talk about what's concerning Americans right now and part of these issues. How about we have 46 million Americans not covered by health insurance, and Ralph Nader wants universal coverage. It's not unlike the plan they have in Canada. The only thing, everybody in Canada is covered. If you fall while you're ice skating this winter in Canada, you're covered. The only thing that separates us from Canada is an imaginary line. Is it perfect in Canada? No. Ask Canadians if they want to swap with us. We spend more money on health care than any other nation on earth. Per capita, per dollar, we're spending more money on health care. We want universal health care. Canada hasn't eliminated private property. Canada hasn't gone communist. Free enterprise lives in Canada. Don't be so concerned about this. Cover Americans, all Americans, with universal health coverage. And to those who would say that we ought to run here but not there, that we ought to run with one arm tied behind us and not so hard in some places than in others, we are saying to those who are calling us names, the Tribune of Free Speech, the New York Times, is saying, sit down already and shut up now. The New York Times and the Washington Post, major media companies, I should say, these are major media companies who have showered both parties, the Democrats and the Republicans, with millions of dollars in campaign financing, written the checks, covered the Senate, covered the House, and it worked. The 1996 Telecom Act gave them everything they wanted. Free broadband. Free. It's like giving the Mississippi River to a company. They gave it to these companies free. And we're going to take America back from these influence peddlers who are spending millions of dollars to get their way in the marketplace. We don't think Ralph Nader doesn't think the New York Times ought to own the Boston Globe. We don't think the Chicago Tribune should own the Los Angeles Times. Ask a reporter if he thinks this is a good idea. This is just part of what we're dealing with. We shouldn't be surprised that these huge media companies are trying to tell us to go away, are trying to tell us to shut up, are trying to tell us we're undemocratic. There are tens of thousands of volunteers who stood on street corners in the rain, the snow, the ice, night and day, and they overcame all the obstacles that incumbency puts in the way of challengers, and we got Ralph on the ballot in 45 states, and they're calling us undemocratic? What's democratic to you? We have obeyed. We are the only people out there who has obeyed every campaign finance law. We accept no hard, no soft, no corporate, just within the limits of the Federal Election Commission, and they're calling us egotistical. The names, George W. is a selfless patriot, Ralph Nader is an egotist. This is what they're trying to tell us. It isn't going to work. We're going all out. We're never going to stop. This is the beginning of the new millennium, and it will see the formation of a powerful third-party force that's going to take back the American elected process from the debate commission and from the Fortune 500 company. And helping us to do that. And incidentally, to our friends in the Democratic Party who wish we would go away, we have this question. When can we run? Shall we take our hats and whimper off into a corner, and then 4 years from now, to what Democrat shall we make our pilgrimage, hats still in hand, and say, may we run this year, massa? May we run now? When can we be Americans? When can we get signatures on a ballot? When can we empower millions and millions of cynical, never-before voters to come to us? When will you allow us to do this? You didn't tell Patrick Buchanan to go away. You didn't tell Ross Perot to go away. Why are you telling Ralph Nader to go away? What are you afraid of? We're here, we're going to stay here, and we're going to stay the fight. And after Tuesday, we are about the beginning of a third party to challenge the incumbent power and the abuses that have come from both political parties who quite literally have become an extension of corporate America. We're changing that. We're bringing it back to the people. Of the several unions, we believe we have millions of union members who are going to turn their back on their leadership and vote for Ralph and Winona this Tuesday. We have several unions who are out and about for Ralph. They have come out four square for Ralph. They are enthusiastic for Ralph, and we are very, very pleased to stand with them. These are the true expressions of American labor, and one of them happens to be out and supporting Ralph, the California Nurses Association. They see the problem. They see the problem. They are informed consumers and informed voters. And I'm now proud to introduce to you the executive director of the California Nurses Association, a real American, a proud American. Here is Roseanne Demoro.
Hey, are we having fun? Well, I bring you greetings from the 31,000 members of the California Nurses Association. I have the great honor of being their executive director, and I have to tell you, they are the last line of defense for patients. Corporate medicine has failed in every respect. The number of uninsured have risen. Patients are being pushed out, they're sicker, and all of us will be patients one day. Nurses don't have the luxury of counting on doctors and administrators to make decisions about patients. They count on their judgment, that independent judgment. And so, as we count on RNs, we also have been extremely privileged in having Ralph Nader, many years before this campaign, fight side by side with us in California. He's been for patients all the way down the line, and as he likes to say, and we like to say, he's a real RN. That's Ralph Nader. So our organization supports Ralph. He's the only one out there talking about universal health care now. Nurses don't have the political luxury of watching their patients die and families being so horribly destroyed when patients could be saved. And the abuses that are going on in HMOs and corporate medicine are horrendous. We don't have, in California or in the rest of the United States, the luxury to wait. Universal health care must happen now. But I'm also happy to say that this girl has the privilege of working with one of the largest women's associations in the country. And as women, Ralph Nader is the one who's always been the most clear, continues to be the most clear on issues that affect women, including choice. Ralph talks about the millions of women and families in poverty and wants systemic solutions. He talks about the way women are victimized by corporations. Every day, we establish corporate abuse in this country through low salaries, no health care, no flexibility in the workplace, mandatory overtime, and denied freedom to join trade unions, along with men, I might add. We're not alone in California. Fortunately, we're in California. We've had the privilege of having the Los Angeles Weekly come out for Ralph, which we're very proud of. I think it's because CNA took the leadership role. Also, the San Francisco Bay Guardian, these are huge, came out Ralph Nader for president. So there they are. So it's both ends of the state in California. What we've also done on our website, calnurses.org, is we've started a Labor for Nader support, and we've run an ad on Friday, last Friday, in the New York Times, supporting Ralph Nader for president, and we've had we just did this 2 weeks ago, and we've had over 400 people sign on to this ad. So if you're a member of a union, get onto our website, join the Labor for Nader. It's just another part of well, in healthcare, it's the Blue Coalition and the Green Coalition, and it's healthcare. So, we're looking forward. I just really want to take a moment to tell you, how much we very much appreciate all that you do. Because otherwise, people of my generation have just given up. I think all those times in the Rose Garden or something have just affected their judgment, but you continue to believe in yourselves. And I believe that together, when you take the healthcare workers in this country and the people who are concerned about the environment and the workers in this country, nothing can stop us. So I applaud you, and we'll continue to work with Ralph and you, and thank you very much.
Now, as you know, I'm a man who loves music. I like Mozart, I like country, I like MOR, but really deep down, as most of you I think already know, I'm a hip-hop kind of guy. You look up hip-hop, baby, there's a picture of me. That's why I am very, very proud to introduce a young man, a young artist, who has been very strong on the issue of Tibet, who's been courageous and out front. He is Adam Yauch of the Beastie Boys, right here.
Hi, how's everybody doing? Well, I just came here today to offer my support to Ralph Nader and his there's a number of issues that Ralph supports that I feel strongly about. Firstly, I can't imagine voting for a candidate that supports the death penalty. Both Bush and Gore intend to increase spending on the defense budget, and Nader intends to reduce that. I think he intends to work towards nuclear disarmament. I think but the list goes on and on. I mean, the things that he stands for, I think, in general, support human rights and respect humanity in a way that I don't think that any of the other candidates do. Somebody asked me the other day who I was going to vote for, and I told them I was voting for Nader, and they asked me why, and basically I just said because I believe that he cares, and I really do. Thank you.
You want superstars? We got superstars, baby. His latest film, Bozeman and Leanna, about South Africa. Here's an actor with a conscience, and we want him on our side, and he is. He is Danny Glover.
Like Adam, like you, like Phil, I'm here to support Ralph Nader. We've started something here. We have a lot of hard work ahead of us. I was trying to figure out at what point, when did I first become political? Maybe the point that I was born black in America made me automatically political. I was 7 years old when the Supreme Court upheld the landmark decision, Brown versus the Board of Education. I was 8 years old when the great Martin Luther King and others, Rosa Parks, began the Montgomery bus boycott. I was 13 years old and believed when John F. Kennedy said, ask not what your country could do for you, but what you could do for your country. 25 years old when I supported McGovern for president. And at last, the last time, over 40 when I supported the caucus. Yeah, it's been a long time. It's been a long time. But we know a vote for Nader means that the buck stops here. A vote for Nader means we're not willing to continue to play the game of the lesser of two evils. The lesser of two evils means that there are 2 million men and women in prison in this country, 51% of them African Americans. The lesser of two evils means that there are more men and women who've been executed in this country. That's the lesser of two evils. The lesser of two evils means that globalization has gone on and continue to go on rampant in the world. That's the lesser of two evils. A vote for Nader means that we're willing to not to play that game. A vote for Nader means that the truth matters to us, all of us, young and old, those who've yet to be born. A vote for Nader means that our vision of the world we want to see matters. A vote for Nader means that we're prepared to be participants in our own rescue. Participants, not onlookers, but participants. And a vote for Nader means that we're prepared to build a real, inclusive, progressive voice in this country. That's what a vote for Nader means. Over 60 years ago, a great American poet in another time of crisis wrote this very, very wonderful poem. His name was Langston Hughes, and I'll read that poem. Poem is, let America be America again. Let America be the dream it used to be. Let it be the pioneer on the plain seeking a home where he himself is free. America was never America to me. Let America be the dream, the dreamer's dream. Let it be that great, strong land of love where neither kings connive nor tyrants scheme, that any man be crushed above. It never was America to me. Oh, let my land be a land where liberty is crowned with no false patriotic wreath, but opportunity is real and life is free. Equality is in the air we breathe. There's never been equality for me, nor freedom in this homeland of the free. Say, who are you that mumbles in the dark? And who are you that draws your veil across the star? I am the poor white, fooled and pushed apart. I am the Negro bearing slavery scar. I am the red man driven from the land. I am the immigrants clutching the hope I seek and finding only the same old stupid plan of dog eat dog, of mighty crush the weak. I am the young man full of strength and hope, tangled in that ancient endless chain of profit, power, gain, of grab the land, of grab the gold, of grab the way of satisfying need, of work the men, of take the pay, of owning everything for one's own greed. I am the farmer, bondsman to the soil. I am the worker sold to the machine. I am the Negro servant to you all.
I am the people, humble, hungry, mean. Hungry yet today, despite the dream. Beaten yet today. Oh, pioneers, I am the man who never got ahead. The poorest worker bartered through the years. Yet I'm the one who dreamt our basic dream. In that old world while still a surf of kings, who dreamt the dream so strong, so brave, so true, that even yet is mighty daring seen in every brick and stone, in every furlough turn, that's made America the land it has become. Oh, I am the man who sailed those early seas in search of what I meant to be my home. For I am the one who left dark Ireland's shore and Poland's plain and England's grassy lea, and torn from black Africa's strand, I came to build a homeland of the free. The free? Who says the free? Not me, surely not me. The millions on relief today, the millions who have nothing for our pay, for all the dreams we dreamed, for all the songs we sung, for all the hopes we held, for all the flags we hung. The millions who have nothing for our dream, for our pay, except the dream that's almost dead today. Oh, let America be America again. The land that never has yet, and yet must be. The land where every man is free. The land that's mine, the poor man's, Indian, Negro, me, who made America, whose sweat and blood, whose faith and pain, whose hand at the foundry, whose plow in the rain, must bring back our mighty dream again. Sure, call me any ugly names you choose. The steel of freedom does not stain. For those who live like leeches on the people's lives, we must take back our land again. America. Oh yes, I say it plain. America has never been America to me. And yet I swear this oath, America will be. Out of the rack and ruin of our gangster death, out of the rape and rot of graft and stealth and lies, we the people must redeem the land, the mines, the plants, the rivers, the mountains, the endless plains, all the stretch of these great green states, and make America again. Thank you.
Grilled tenderloin for fundraiser, $1,000 a plate. Campaign ads filled with half-truths, $10 million. Promises to special interest groups, over $10 billion. Finding out the truth, priceless. There are some things money can't buy. For everything else, there's your voter registration card. Use it. Vote Green Party candidate Ralph Nader for president.
Government have the same problems it has today.
I want to vote for the lesser of two evils. I want to be lied to.
I want to be apathetic.
I want tax breaks for the very rich.
When I grow up,
I want to be disillusioned, disenchanted, disenfranchised.
When I grow up, I want politicians to ignore me.
Is this what you want from your government? Or do you want something better for yourself and the next generation? Vote Ralph Nader for president.
We've raised way less than 1%, you know, 0.001% of the money that's being thrown around by the other two parties. But the money we have raised, and incidentally, I believe that you and I are part of the most efficiently run, save the money, fly coach, get the job done, campaign for the presidency in the history of our republic. And the money we do spend, no less a tribune of punditocracy made that point in today's Washington Post. David Broder gives us a gold star for the best campaign this year. Now that 0.001% of the money comes from events like this, and incidentally, this was a paid event, as I don't have to tell this crowd, and a dollar's a dollar in any man or woman's paycheck, and we are grateful for your not only being here and bringing your voice, but reaching into your wallet as well, because it's these contributions that kept us going through this campaign, and now we even have a television campaign, such as it is, a very good one, and your money has allowed us to place these commercials on television. And we thank you. Carl, incidentally, paying to get in today at the MCI Center against all kinds of football games, against all lovely Sunday afternoon in November, against the golf tournament, against ESPN and everything they're throwing at us. We have almost 12,000 paid supporters of Ralph Nader and Winona LaDuke in this auditorium. Here are the men who will take just a moment of your time. Here are the men who helped us fill the Target Center, fill the old Boston Garden Fleet Center in Boston, not to mention Madison Square Garden in New York, baby. They went all the way to the ceiling. Here are the people who made it happen. Carl Mayer and Greg Kafoury. Give them your brief attention, please.
All right, I'm Carl Mayer. I was the co-chair of the 1992 Draft Nader for President Committee, and I want to say it was worth the 8-year wait, Ralph. And what the press and the pundits are missing is we're going to be with Ralph in 2000. We'll be with him in 2004. We'll be with him in 2008. Before we proceed here, I'd like you to answer one question. The media from all over the world is here. We're live on C-SPAN, and they want to know one question. And if you agree with me in this question, if you answer affirmative, I hope you'll stand up and chant with me, "Go, Ralph, go." The question is, are you going to reject the indentured cynicism of the Gore and Bush campaigns and vote your conscience and vote your heart and work like hell to get out the vote in the next 48 hours? Are you? Let's hear it. Come on. Can't hear you. Can I do it? Is it enough yet? Not enough yet. Not enough yet. Shake your head. Not enough yet. Now what the press is also missing is that this is an extraordinary volunteer effort. And the man who's with me, is with me started all these super rallies. So he's a lawyer from Portland, Oregon. He suspended his law practice to go around the country and organize these super rallies, and it's a testament to the great spirit of volunteerism that we have in this campaign. His name is Greg Kafoury. Give him a big hand and fill out these pledge cards that you have.
My law partner, Mark McDougall, and Laird Hasty have been with us all the way and instrumental in making these things happen. I want to tell two very short stories which provide sort of bookends to this campaign and perhaps visions of an alternate future. A young woman lawyer came to me a few years ago, and she said, you know, Greg, I went to work for a big corporate law firm because I figured I'd kind of learn how it worked from the inside and use all that knowledge to fight them. And she said, you know, you can't imagine what it's like. She said, I was called into a meeting, and the senior partner brings all the young, eager lawyers who want to become partners in there, and he says, we've got a really tough case here. We want to put a polluting factory in the middle of a small town, and it's going to make the children sick, and the town is fighting us, and I want to know who's tough enough to fight this through, who's going to stay with us all the way. And she said these guys just couldn't contain themselves. I'll do it. I'll do it, they said. You can count on me. Some years ago, I was hitchhiking, and a young woman was picked up after me, just a sweet little waif kind of blowing across the country, and she was a chatterbox, and she just told her story, and she said, yeah, she said she grew up in this tiny little town, and there was a factory in the town, and the factory was a terrible polluter, she said, and it made the children sick. And she ended her story by simply saying, and then Nader made him stop. And as you consider how strongly you can support this campaign, how much you can do financially and in terms of your time and energy, especially the next 4 hours and then carrying on to the next 4 years, please consider not just the honor and the dignity and the forthrightness with which Ralph Nader has conducted this campaign, but consider the other side, their impertinence, consider their arrogance, keeping Nader out of the debates, not even letting him in when he had a ticket. And then after saying they wouldn't discuss the issues with him, they weren't going to talk about the challenge to corporate power, having the gall to say, well, Nader, now you should fall on your sword. You shouldn't even be in this race, because if you stay in this race, some people might vote for a candidate that's not corporate approved. And as you consider how far we have come, please consider what Gandhi said. First he said, they ignore you. Then they laugh at you. Then they attack you. And then you win. We need some serious money for the next 48 hours. We have television, we have radio, we've got to get out the vote. You know how important it is that this campaign finish strongly. Who now today will stand up and pledge $1,000 right here in front of C-SPAN, God and everybody to this campaign? There's one. Give him a hand. We need some more. 3. Draw strength from your brothers and sisters. Who else can help to the tune of $1,000? Stand up.